Hi, everybody. Welcome to 14 days of creativity and productivity tips for writers. This is day 9, I think. Yes, I had to count it backward from Sunday, which is when I'll be doing the last one of these. But this is intended to be 2 weeks of creativity, productivity tips for writers. My name is Mary Cole with Good Story Company and Mary Cole Editorial. Now, yesterday, if you tuned in, yesterday was not a creativity or a productivity tip. It was a be kind to yourself in this crazy time and feel free to do nothing if you want to tip. And I actually, completely was able to reset myself. Yesterday was a tough day. I was having a really hard time with the tech integration that wasn't working for whatever reason. And I think the tough thing for me was that there's so much outside of my windows right now that is out of my control. And, as a human being, I like having things at least somewhat in my control. But we have the viral situation, we have the economy, we have fears around employment and money and paying the mortgage and all of this stuff. And so to have that be outside of all of our control right now, and then to have a tech issue that was also out of my control, it really kind of grated on me in a way that I did not enjoy, because it was like uncertainty, 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 and it just kind of snowballed. And so yesterday's tip was very much like, chill out. It's okay to not be productive or creative for a period of time if you simply can't. There's nothing wrong with that. And what I ended up doing was watching a movie on the phone with my best friend. We pressed play at the same time. We watched a movie. It was great fun. Had a wonderful time. And that really reset me. And today the sun is out. My tech integration is working again. Just as mysteriously as it stopped working, it started working again. So at least I have the illusion of control today, and I'm feeling much, much better. But long story short, it's okay to have those down days, and it's okay to sort of let go and be kind to yourself. So, speaking of which, I got an interesting comment on that YouTube video and yesterday from a listener or a viewer named John, and he said, having a cause really helped. And so I got thinking about today's tip, and I want to call your attention to two charities that I think are doing wonderful things for people that don't that require the strengths that writers already naturally have. And so I do a lot of support for the community. I have the Good Story Grant, which I administer in January, where I give a writer a grant to sort of do something cool out in the world related to their project. Every year, I sort of do a charity call out for in the memory of my infant daughter who passed away a couple years ago. And so it's kind of like community has always been on my mind. And but now we may seem like we're very limited in our options because we literally cannot go out into the community. We can't gather. We can't be a collective force. And so I actually had this idea, what do writers, there's a bald eagle who lives above my lake, and he has been out in like full majestic force the last couple of days. So I'm actually, let me show you my lake. This is sort of this is what I look at when I like seem like I'm zoning out during my videos, but we live on a little lake, and like, oh, there he is. So you can see there's a bald eagle kind of circling around in the sky. Anyway, so if I ever seem distracted and like I'm looking around up above me, that's kind of that's my situation. That's my setup. And people have been sort of people walk around on the street. As you notice, my house is kind of high up on a little hill. So I get to see people, and they have their binoculars out, they're bird watching at a distance of 6 feet, a responsible distance. But anyway, so Mr. Eagle is doing his thing. But so I was thinking, what are we really good at as writers? Because sometimes you just want a tiny win. You want something to be easy. You want something to go right when so many things seem like they're going wrong. And that was my breakdown yesterday about this tech integration, because it's like, really, a domain name, we're falling apart over a domain name like this. I've set up probably 3 dozen domain names in my career for various things, and it was like, this is where it falls apart. Something that should be so easy. So I got to thinking, psychologically for all of us, these are pretty tough times. These are unprecedented times. And so for me, it often helps me feel better about myself and about my situation when I'm able to serve and do stuff for others. And I don't say this to toot my own horn and be like, look how great I am, but I'm in a service-based business. I work with writers. I transmit knowledge to writers. That's what I do. And I think it's a really nice reminder now more than ever that we need to reach out to other humans, except we cannot do it in person. And so a lot of nonprofits and charities, I would imagine, a lot of community outreach efforts are really struggling right now because we can't mobilize in the ways that we would want to. So, what are writers good at? And if we need a little win in our lives, what can we do to sort of help ourselves psychologically, help others at the same time? And I got to thinking, like, people who are writers love to write, right? Right. And there are people isolated in their homes, especially elderly people right now, sick people right now. I wonder if there are any charities that uh, whose work is letter writing. And so today's tip, I'm actually going to start doing this, is a couple of charities that I wanted to bring your attention to, and some efforts, not necessarily charities, but organizations or community outreach efforts that I found with a quick Google search that I am actually going to get involved in just to keep my own sanity and hopefully help others. So one is to loveourselves.com. They have something called the Letter Project, and you can volunteer as a letter writer, and you get call outs for people who would love to receive letters. You write them letters. And it makes people's days, and it helps them sort of deal a little bit more easily with what they're dealing with. And I think letter writing, good old fashioned letter writing, writing, describing, emoting, relating, connecting, we used to do that in letters. And I'm gonna do this today. I'm gonna sign up for both of these today, and I hope you consider joining me because now more than ever we need alternate means of connection. As we know, social media can be a great tool for connection, but it can also be isolating. We can all, be sort of sitting there on our phones, actually distancing from the people around us. But I think letters could actually be a really nice, refreshing way to reach out to people who are vulnerable, who are suffering, and also make ourselves feel good and lift ourselves up because we are playing to our strengths. In the service of others. So I found the letter project from toloveourselves.com. And there's a really easy way to sign up to volunteer. And then also Letters Against Depression. That is at lettersagainstdepression.org. And given what I have sort of personally experienced in the last couple days, and I was just on a couple conference calls with my team, and what I know they're experiencing, I think that these are tough times. These are tough times to sort of summon up our energy or our personal, mojo, because as I saw yesterday, like even people who are determined to get through this with their heads held high, we run out of steam, and I think it's dangerous, and I think it's unfair to hold ourselves to that standard of like I have to be the cheerleader all the time. And so yesterday, you saw it. I was just like, yeah, like this isn't happening today. But there are people who deal with depression. There are people who deal with mental health challenges in and outside of a national event like the one we're having right now. And I love the idea of writing letters to people who are struggling to lift them up, to give them something to look forward to give them a little ray of light. And now that we're all stuck in our houses, we're isolated. This is what somebody with a mental illness or depression or anxiety. This may be reality of their lives for them. And so I think we're all getting a peek into, what it might feel like to step into somebody else's shoes, live a different lifestyle, isolate by choice or by circumstance, due to mental health and all of these other things. And so yesterday, I brought to your attention my client's wonderful email about sort of developing empathy as a result of this experiment. And I really want to carry that over to today's tip. So it is letters against uh, Sorry. So lettersagainst.org/volunteer /volunteer. And also the letter project from toloveourselves.com. I can't think of a better way to sort of make yourself feel good, lift yourself up, and kind of out of this a little bit, but also change somebody's day for the better. The mail is still working for now. So break out the paper, sign up to volunteer both of these organizations, and see what their needs are, and write some letters today. It could really be a rising tide that lifts all of our boats in a very difficult time. So, on a personal front, I am feeling much better. I solved my tech issue, and I am ready to get back out there and up and at 'em. But if I have more down days, then that's just what's going to happen. And I'm going to try and not beat myself up over it. And in the meantime, let's band together and make some good happen in the world through our considerable strengths as writers, considerable strengths as people. I think that's what we need more of right now. So this has been Mary Cole from Good Story Company. Next time I will turn the fan off. It is super distracting. I'm sorry about that. And this has been day 9 of creativity and productivity tips for writers. I'm running this series live every day on YouTube at noon. Through March 29th. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.